well, how will South Africa's immigration changes impact corporates, individuals and key sectors? To help answer that question is Jess Green from Immigration South Africa. Jess, good to have you. We've often been keeping up to date with you with regard to the visa regulation changes, but from your interactions with some of the major corporates in South Africa, how are they managing to navigate their way around this new element?
Well, when we speak about corporates, well, in general, for them, it's more a matter of just wanting to comply and also to make sure that their employees are complying, whether in their own right or from the company's point of view. So a lot more corporate visa applications that we are looking at processing, which is a special type of visa that companies are then allowed to employ a certain amount of individuals over a certain amount of time, and they get pre-authorization certificates to do so. Other than that, for companies, well, some of them fall into industries that are somewhat more affected than they used to be.
The whole story about the new regulations, Jess, why are people so upset?
The main reason why they're so upset, I mean, if you actually look at the new regulations, which are actually not necessarily so new, they were published a long time ago, they were only brought into effect now on the 22nd of May. But the main reason why people are upset across the board is that there was very little grace period in which to comply. So some people found themselves from one day to the next illegal in South Africa, or what you say, undesirable, the correct terminology, and through no fault of their own. They had applied on time for a renewal, Home Affairs had taken too long to issue it, and on leaving the country they were banned. Or someone finds themselves suddenly illegally working for a certain firm, or you know, certain things like that. That's actually the real problem. Had there been a bit more leeway or lead time or grace period, as they say, I think many of the problems would have been sorted out quite quickly.
Jess, what do you make of the update that we recently received regarding the Zimbabweans' 3-year extension period?
Yes, so that's of particular interest because it was announced 10 a.m. yesterday in Pretoria. So there's still a few questions around it. What fee will these Zimbabweans have to pay? It's called the ZSP, or Zimbabwean Special Dispensation Project, if you take the long version. And effectively, a lot of Zimbabweans were given a sort of amnesty if they were here illegal or if they just wanted to legalize themselves 4 years ago. But those permits are now expiring in December. You have over 250,000 people, well, you actually have a lot more, but you have over 250,000 people on these visas who will then become illegal. They don't want to return home. They're quite entrenched here. Some of them have built lives here and they want to stay. And so his name escapes me. I think his surname is Mahadi. The Home Affairs Minister of Zimbabwe and our Home Affairs Minister, Malisi Gigaba, have met and finally come up with a new way to keep these people here, but to keep them legally, and obviously those that should be here. I think you know, a lot of people say, oh no, we shouldn't have foreigners and they're taking South African jobs, but the bottom line is they are here and a lot of them add very valuably to our economy. So I think it's a great move. It just remains to be seen if they can actually process these many permits in the short space of time. They say they will be able to. 3 months, 250,000 people, it's over 80,000 a month, I don't know.
Jess, we are a business channel, and clearly the people who are watching this are wondering about the problems that they have in bringing in skilled people from other parts of the world. Is there any progress in that front? Is government understanding and appreciating that we can only grow an economy if we have the skills put into those difficult positions?
That's something I feel very passionately about. I'm more a global mind where, you know, I don't mind where you come from. If you've got great skills, please come in, no matter how many of them there are, and you know, if we need those skills. The good news is that the critical skills list has been introduced and updated from the quota and exceptional skills permit lists of the past. And it's far more comprehensive, and I believe that it will address a lot of the skill shortages that we currently find. However, some skills are not on those lists. I mentioned a while ago maths and science teachers. I don't see them there. Yet we find that there's a huge issue in South Africa with basic education, specifically in the maths and science subjects. So why are they not on the list? I'm not sure. So one or two small things, but in general, it's really great to see that list has been expanded greatly.
What if the maths and science teachers aren't there? Who is responsible for compiling this list of critical skills?
Well, I think it's a number of departments together who speak together. One of the gripes, well, to answer your question, I think it's the Department of Education, probably the Department of Labour heads that, and the Department of Home Affairs is probably consulted. One of the gripes about the new regulations is that although the public was consulted to be able to make a comment for about a month or so, there was never an actual sit-down with industry leaders and experts in immigration. And a lot of these immigration lawyers and other people that know the law were not, they've actually expressed dismay at that. But, they've been told numerous times in the media and privately that there's not going to be any change to the law.
Tough times ahead. Well, certainly we hope that does change. Next time, Alec, we'll
crazy.
get into...
We need to talk more. We need to communicate more. And if the economy needs certain people, talk to them. Find out. Don't be a bureaucrat and say, I will tell you who can come into the country and who can't if you don't actually know.
Exactly.
Thanks, Jess. That was an interesting interview, wasn't it?
Very interesting. Well, that was Jess Green from Immigration South Africa. They're updating us on the latest with regard to the visa applications here in